Have you ever wondered why certain thoughts can cause such intense feelings of anxiety and depression? Today we're unpacking the concept of cognitive distortions. These are irrational, inflated thoughts or beliefs that warp our perception of reality, often amplifying negative thoughts or emotions. It's like wearing a pair of glasses with a warped lens. The world may look distorted, but the flaw lies in the glasses, not the scenery. In this video, we will delve into 9 common cognitive distortions that can cause anxiety and depression. The first cognitive distortion is filtering. This occurs when we magnify the negative details of a situation, while simultaneously filtering out all the positive aspects. It's like looking at the world through a pair of dark-tinted glasses. Everything appears gloomier than it actually is. This distortion can lead to a very skewed perception of reality, where the good becomes invisible and the bad takes center stage. As a result, filtering can make the world seem much darker than it really is. Next up is polarized thinking. This cognitive distortion creates a world of absolutes, where everything is either black or white. It's a tendency to perceive and interpret information in an all or none fashion. Every situation, every interaction is either good or bad, right or wrong, a success or a failure. There's no middle ground, no room for nuance, and this can lead to extreme and unrealistic expectations. Remember, life is a spectrum of experiences and not just extremes. Polarized thinking can lead to a world of extremes where the middle ground doesn't exist. The third cognitive distortion is overgeneralization. This is when we take a single event and turn it into an unending pattern. One hiccup, one stumble, one bad day, and suddenly in our minds, we're doomed to a lifetime of failure. It's like looking at the world through a lens smeared with negativity. This can lead to a rather bleak view of the future, where every cloud has a lead lining. Overgeneralization can make one bad day seem like a never-ending pattern of defeat. Fourth on the list is jumping to conclusions. This cognitive distortion involves making negative predictions without any concrete evidence to back them up. It's like looking into a murky crystal ball and deciding the future is bleak. This kind of assumption-based thinking can lead us down a path of unnecessary worry and anxiety. We start fearing things that haven't happened and may never happen. The mind becomes a breeding ground for stress. Remember, jumping to conclusions can lead to unnecessary worry about things that may never happen. Next, we have catastrophizing. This cognitive distortion involves anticipating the worst possible outcome in every situation. Imagine always expecting a downpour when you see a single cloud, or predicting a full-blown disaster from a minor hiccup. This constant negative forecasting can lead to a cycle of extreme anxiety or even depression. It's like living in a perpetual state of worst-case scenario, so it's crucial to recognize when we're catastrophizing. Remember, catastrophizing can turn every worry into a potential catastrophe. A sixth on the list is personalization. This cognitive distortion is like carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You pin every negative event on yourself, creating a heavy burden of guilt and feelings of inadequacy. For example, if it rains on a day you planned a picnic, you blame yourself for not predicting the weather, instead of acknowledging that nature is simply unpredictable. This way of thinking can lead to unnecessary stress and anxiety. Personalization can make you feel responsible for things that are beyond your control. Next, we have control fallacies. This cognitive distortion is a tricky one. It makes you believe that you're either completely helpless, the puppet of fate, or that you're the puppet master, solely responsible for everyone's happiness. It's a mental tug-of-war that can leave you feeling helpless or drowning in guilt. Picture being on a seesaw, constantly shifting between feeling powerless and overwhelmed by responsibility. That's the essence of control fallacies. Control fallacies can make you feel either entirely powerless or burdened with unnecessary responsibility. The eighth cognitive distortion is the fairness fallacy. This distortion is all about feeling resentful because we believe we have the ultimate understanding of what is fair. But the world doesn't seem to agree with us. It's like we're carrying around a fairness meter that only we can read. And when others don't meet our fairness standards, we feel wronged and angry. The danger of the fairness fallacy is that it can lead to resentment and dissatisfaction with life. Finally, we have emotional reasoning. This cognitive distortion involves the belief that our feelings are always indicative of reality. In other words, if we feel a certain way, then it must be true. However, this is a distortion because our feelings are not always accurate reflections of the world around us. They can be influenced by a variety of factors, including our mood, our physical health, and our personal biases. Emotional reasoning can make feelings seem like facts, even when they're not. Understanding these cognitive distortions is the first step to challenging and changing them. We've navigated through the labyrinth of 9 cognitive distortions today: filtering, polarized thinking, overgeneralization, jumping to conclusions, catastrophizing, personalization, control fallacies, fairness fallacy, and emotional reasoning. Each of these distortions can cloud our judgment, fuel anxiety, and foster depression. But by identifying and understanding these distortions, we equip ourselves with the tools to challenge these misinterpretations and rewrite our thought patterns. It's not an overnight process, but with persistence and patience, it's entirely possible to transform the way we think and feel. Remember, these distortions are not an indication of who you are, but merely how you're currently interpreting the world around you. Remember, your thoughts are not always facts. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.